John Koziol knew what he wanted to be from a very young age. It was decided when his father, a police officer, walked through the door of their home.
It's funny when you're young. You see your dad in a uniform. There's a lot of pride there, and when you're real young, there's a safety factor that I'm not sure everybody has with their parents, but I did with my father.
Raised in the northwest suburbs and eventually settling in Palatine, John went to school to become a law enforcement officer, and during this time had his first Mount Prospect job just down the road from the new police headquarters.
I worked my way through college as a bouncer. In fact, I work here in Mount Prospect at a bar called Stagger Lee's. It's now called the Red Barn. But I tested many places. At the time, I was living in Palatine. I was fortunate enough to get hired there as a police officer in 1985.
John had a long career with the Palatine Police Department. As a young detective in the 1990s, there was one case that stood out for him.
It was the Brown's Chicken homicides. It took 9 years to solve it, but I was a detective sergeant at the time it happened, and fortunately I was chief when we did get the break we needed. It was horrible. These were innocent people that went to work and never came home, and 7 families. But it was a long part of my career, probably the toughest. It makes other things in your career a lot easier. All you do have to think back to that and say, well, this isn't as bad as that.
John retired from Palatine in 2014, and 4 years later became chief of police for the village of Mount Prospect. He found the officers he led to be nothing but supportive of their new chief.
It's really been nice that the officers have stepped up and they've accepted me, and the administration has accepted me. Mike Eterno, here he was deputy chief, and he took me in, never second-guessed me on anything, and it's just been a very welcoming environment at that police department, and I'm very grateful to them for that.
With Chief Koziol's departure at the end of last year, he reflects on what he's most proud of.
It was all the new hires I was involved in. I think we've hired like 22 new officers since I've been here, and they're great to be around. Hiring new cops is the best part of a chief's job. When I started in police work, there weren't any women in my department, and we were a large department, and this department's got a lot of them, and I've been fortunate enough to hire many of them out of that this last 4 years. New hires come in with all this initiative and dreams, and you get to make that phone call and tell them they got a job. So that was definitely the highlight of my career here.
While he could always go back to being a bouncer, as for the chief's future, at the moment, John has only one priority.
I don't know. We'll see what the future holds, but my wife, Kathy, and I, it's time we spent more time together. She's been such a supportive spouse through 37 years in law enforcement, and I'm looking forward to maybe doing a little of nothing for a while.